missed it again. Found nothing. You found nothing. The most nihilist get of all. Oh, you want to hear some good news? Marathon is a huge flop too. Marathon, the Bungie extraction shooter, games as a service, garbage. I was hoping that would happen. I didn't want them to get the wrong idea that people want that. I mean, it's sad that they'll probably blame this on the Marathon IP rather than disbelieve in their conviction that games as a service is the future of the industry. Did it start entirely over? No, not entirely. What's my strat here? No, I don't think I'm gonna get a second chance. Or a third chance, I should say. One of the shocking things I found out was book 1 only sold 40 copies. Or like 41, 42, thereabouts. A lot of those were high-paid, expensive collector's editions. Shit, I guess Germany wins World War II. Let's get the fuck out. Oh fuck, oh god, oh fuck, shit. I got everything I needed out of here. Gotcha. Flush all the toilets. Necessary. Strategically necessary. There might be more loot in there. There might be more loot. I might need it. I know how to get you taken care of. Whenever they do this in games, attributing superhuman scientific capability to Nazis, they kind of mythologize them. Wolfenstein tried to counteract that by explaining it as they stole all their science from magic space Jews from the future. That didn't seem to really make it better. It just shifted the focus. But again, how do you tell that kind of story without somebody having super science? Then again, who turned out to be smarter in the end? Einstein was Jewish, and he built a bomb we could have dropped on Berlin had we been willing to. I knew it. I fucking knew it. I'm glad I came back here. They're never ending. Shit. May as well just let them kill me. Oh, all the way back here, huh? That didn't go as well as it could have. Not much. Hey, Nettis, guess how many books I sold? How many copies of my new book? Alright, let's take this slower this time. He keeps walking this way even after he heard that. Shit. No, 12. 12 copies. I'm pretty fucking depressed. You might say I'm somewhat perturbed and upset. Yeah. To give you an idea of what they expected, the first run of book 1 sold 40 copies. But a lot of those were like $200 a piece. It's not any consolation. Misery does not love company. I'd like you to be happy. One of us should be. This time I won't waste my ammo. Where's the other Frankenstein? Isn't he just an armored zombie? Well, that answers that. Those fucking Rayman limbs. Well, that's my time wasted. Note to self, don't try to shoot those things. I don't know. Could be. I feel like giving up on being an author and just getting a gas station job wouldn't be the worst idea I've ever had. Oh, alright. Poison is a mechanic. I forgot. Zombies poison you, including the big chungus. The skivity rizlet chungus. What if we all sound like boomers when we combine Zoomer memes like that? Hope not. Bitch titties, are you kidding me? I guess that many bullets would kill me. They're not bright, are they? Poor Skivity Rizlet. That, you know, that baby. The viral meme who got named all the memes. Hope they didn't really name him that. They're gonna put... He's gonna put them in the worst nursing home. Two and one! Did you... Oh, fuck. Did you see that, though? Where's the antioxidant pills when you need them? Antitoxin. That was a epic gamer moment, however. There we go. That's all of them, I think. There we go. Now I'm as well equipped as ever will be. I do value my dignity. That's why I never sold NFTs or bought any. I also won't do mascot horror, although I do have a mascot horror character just to have a representation of the genre in my corpus of work and to show that I can do it better. That's Peter the Possum from Persistence of Vision. They notice you from a long way away, don't they? Wow. You don't have to be close. Oh good, they're already dead. Toilet, right? Yep. Do they come running when I do that? That'd be funny. And unexplainable. Can you imagine that? Establishing the trope that flushing a toilet attracts all Nazis in the vicinity. Oh my god, Hans stroked another Werewolf Hitler. Is that all? Really? It can't be all. Nope. What's he doing? He keeps hopping around. That was the boss? I guess werewolves are weak to silver bullets. I'm confused. He's not dead yet, is he? I don't trust that he's dead. Is that the end of the game? Or not? Always double tap Werewolf Hitler. Yes, I remember that verse in the Bible. Nope. Well, that was certainly one of the games of all time. I'm gonna BRB and empty my bowels and cry about my book sales again, and I'll be back though probably. I mean, some of it may be my fault. I didn't really start advertising the campaign until well into October. I should have gotten on that earlier. Should have gotten a head start on that shit. I didn't do that. I should have made more than one video also advertising it and making it clear face to face. I think it's better if they could see me saying it and understand who they're helping by buying the book more directly. I don't know. I don't know what I did wrong. I'm not really good at marketing or talking to people. I'm not really good at taking the initiative to go out and contact people I don't normally interact with on a daily basis. Feeling pretty bad. So apparently this game here had an ending I didn't see because I didn't stick with it long enough. So we're going to try to beat this one tonight. I like the art style. I wanted to believe there was something to it. It just didn't pay off quickly enough, I guess. Gamepad support not present. Looking up and down not an option. Also, the fucking fleas are back in the carpet. I keep killing them off with bug bombs, but they keep laying eggs, and eggs survive the bug bombs. I'm going to bug bomb it again, and then I'm going to shampoo the carpet again. What is my life? How'd I get here? What could I have done differently? Probably stay on Adderall. Stay on Adderall. Don't go to school for video games. Don't fall in love. Don't move across country for someone I was not married to. They say follow your heart. That's the biggest lie of all time. Do not follow your heart. Your heart is retarded. Follow your brain. Your heart is going to argue about it and raise a stink, but your brain knows what's best. They also lie to you as a kid when they tell you that money isn't what you should be focused on. Money won't solve all your problems, but it will solve almost all your problems. And then happiness comes after you have the money, not before. I don't know where I'm supposed to go here. It's not clear. I saw a screenshot suggesting that there is an ending. This is just the entrance though, isn't it? I get demoralized easily though, and knowing that about myself, I should not lose my shit so easily. I've looked around. I'm ready to leave the hole now, please. I really feel like if I found something like this in real life, I would come back with a team. So if I broke, like if you explore caves alone, and it's not a really well-known, well-trafficked cave, and you break your ankle, you're fucking dead. Nobody's gonna find you in time because you're underground, so your cell phone doesn't work. You can't. You're gonna run out of battery in your flashlight within 10 to 12 hours, depending on how good your flashlight is. Then you won't have light, so you can't find your way. You're limited to the water you brought in your water bottle, depending on whether or not you're willing to drink your own pee. I personally am not. We don't think of ourselves as being that fragile, but in certain situations that humans regularly put ourselves into, we are. You always want a squad mate or two, because we didn't claw our way to the top of the food chain as individuals. We did it as a group, an organized group. Oh yeah, I saw that. Shit, that was a nightmare. That one guy that got stuck in like the 1800s, and there's this huge media circus around all the efforts, and they just prolonged it. They just made it worse in the end by like bringing him food and whatnot, so that he didn't die quickly. He was just cold and scared and suffered longer. I have no idea where I'm supposed to. I still don't know where to go. This is what happened last time I gave this fucking game a chance. With the screenshot on the store page, I mean not store really since I didn't buy this, implied heavily that there's a centrally located altar with an idol you're meant to remove. Here we go. How the fuck did that take so long? Don't answer the question. And now I get my cheeks clapped. That's how it always goes. Maybe a dirty, rotten trick is if they change the maze layout while your back is turned. So you literally can't get out of here after you take the idol. What's happening out in other news? The 200-pound kid who beat the life out of the teacher for taking his Nintendo Switch. He's a special needs student. Got 30 years in prison. They tried to talk her into dropping some of the charges so he would get a lighter sentence, but she wouldn't cooperate, and the media shamed her for that. I remember that blowing up on X. What else? Lots of stuff in tech news. It doesn't seem like the right fit for this channel. What the fuck? Now where is the fucking exit? You know what? If I just follow one wall, it'll get me out eventually. Unless that's the punchline, is that it really does change the maze layout after you grab that, and there's no way out. I don't think that's the right way. This should be non-Euclidean, yo. Hey, this is familiar. Is that the punchline? Is that you can't get out after you get the idol? It wouldn't do that to me, would they? At least we found the idol. I messaged the developer of that Atari game. Oh, we're back here. Cool. Asked them what the hell. Uh, why I'm not able to. Oh, that was the wrong way to go. Why I'm not able to beat the plant temple. Because I can't fucking find the fourth blueprint for the hammer. And there's a seed pod. It looks like it could have something to do. Oh. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Is this possible to beat at all? Because remember, there's a bridge in that level. A green Jack's Beanstalk bridge. That grew out of a seed pod like that. And I triggered that event by dialing the correct combination on the wheel console. So that seems to suggest to me that there's a different combination that will send water to the other seed pod and make it grow. But I don't know if that's true or not, because I already brute forced both of those consoles, which would suggest to me that there's only one correct combination for each one. In which case, I don't know what to do. This is the exit, I believe. Nope. Let's go this way. We went right last time. Unless this has a changing layout, there's got to be an efficient way out of here. Ah! Well, question settled. There's no escaping. There never was. Can't help but feel in my heart of hearts that there's a way out of there, however. I don't know what it would be. I'm feeling better, though, now I'm playing some entertaining stuff. Just prepare for me to be a fucking huge Debbie Downer for the next couple of weeks. Oh. Well, alright then. Maybe this is a sign that I need to give up on physical books and invest in my time in Royal Road. Because a lot of authors are doing well on Royal Road, or audio content. Sister Paulina has passed away. She was found in apartment 71. The neighbors were complaining about a foul stench. She drowned in the bathtub. wanted to call you to arrange her funeral and to visit the apartment, as the police have told me there might be some personal items of hers you would want to keep. I'm sorry for your loss. Call ends. Kind of relatable. A little bit too much relatable. No controller support, interestingly enough. That's used to be what I liked about Steam controllers, that it auto maps to keyboard and mouse. So it, oh wow, this performs terribly. I don't see any justification for it either. Wow, that's the edgiest genie lamp I ever did see. Wow, this runs stupendously badly. It's almost difficult to believe I'm seeing this. Is this intentional? Is this a stylistic choice? It can't be, can it? Is it the fisheye lens doing it? Hang on. Everything is on ultra. Let's do it, put on high. It's a little bit better. We might actually have to set it to low. I think enabled. Bloom. Disabled. Disable area inclusion. No, I just disabled that. Here. It's not really any different from high. It's it's more playable than it was. Probably those aren't spoiled though, but except for the flies. If it wasn't, oh, Borglar. Now we know this takes place in America. Can I turn off the fisheye lens? You can rebind control. Kudos for letting me rebind controls. A lot of them don't let you do that. There's no real substantial difference in performance between high and low, but the ultra makes a big difference. Speaking of which, Ends Reach has to be dog shit at optimization because it looks like a GameCube game, but it runs so poorly. It runs at 720p to maintain 60 FPS, and I did a GPU comparison on a benchmarking website of the VCS Vega 3 graphics versus Xbox 360, which had a really oddball chip, by the way. Xbox 360 had a triple-core Xenon processor. I don't know if it was a CPU or GPU. I think it was might not be the correct point of comparison, but it was really strange. It was like closer to a Mac than a PC. I don't know why they chose that. It made backwards compatibility a nightmare. I would love to be a fly on the wall in the meeting where they decided, hey, let's go with a really exotic processor architecture, though, making it really difficult to ensure full backwards compatibility with our prior generation of consoles. If they just stuck with x86 through every generation, then it would have been a breeze. Anyway, there are games on 360 that look miles better than anything on VCS. To be fair, almost no 360 games ran at 1080p either, though. It pretended to be an HD console. It was only barely as a 720p console. Many games didn't even run at 720p. Like Halo 3 didn't run at 720p. It ran at like 630p or some shit, where it was upscaled to 720p. So it was a kind of a premature generational leap. They sold you an HD console, and that's not what you got. Especially since the OG Xbone, the big black crate Xbox, could do 720p in certain games. Never demanding ones, but which was a godsend, by the way, for homebrew, because homebrewers could take advantage of the 720p HD mode for output. So XBMC could play high definition videos. Quake 2 and other ports like Quake 3 also ran at 720p on Xbone. Which is a lot of what people did with it. I still have fond memories of my mod chipped Xbox. That was a great system. It was a console for PC guys who mostly wanted to do PC stuff with it on a TV, though. Are you sure you can't leave? You don't know. You don't know that. Oh, haunted toilets. I should have a toilet counter like Civi 11 has a sewer counter. I keep encountering toilets in the spooper games. Oh, it's one of these fucking things. My sister loved playing games. This is not a game. This is what your parents buy you when you're too young to understand that it's not a Game Boy. And they think you won't notice the difference, and they're right until you're about 3 or 4. What's the point of making it look like a knockoff off-brand Game Boy to avoid legal issues and then calling it a Game Boy? Well, this is putrid. I feel like it wouldn't get this nasty this quickly. Did any of you have these as a kid? Did you resent receiving them? They were drastically cheaper, but they played a single game, and my solution was to make my dad play one. And then eventually I got a Game Boy Pocket because of that. It's like, if you think this is good, if you think this is just as good, let's see you try to play it. We sat down with it. It was Snake's Revenge, the LCD game. When he couldn't figure out what the fuck was happening or what you're supposed to do, he's like, alright, fine. It was also for my mother. It was for both of us. We both like Nintendo games. She got hooked on it because she had a hysterectomy, and my dad bought her an NES so she had something to do in the hospital, to hook up to the hospital TV to play Tetris on. And she remained hooked on puzzle games for the rest of her life. Which, I mean, she's still alive, but she can't really do a lot now. She still plays puzzles on her phone, though. And downloads every puzzle game she sees on Google Play until her phone is full. And then she gets malware because she downloads stuff that's obviously malware. So my dad has her phone set up to do an easy system wipe and just system reset to a prior state every month or two. Frankly, because she either doesn't remember what he tells her to do, or doesn't listen. She doesn't listen to it. Oh, got a key. That's the problem with realism in horror games. Keys are tiny and hard to see. So if you have a horror game with keys in it, you kind of have to make them giant blinking arcade keys. Otherwise, the player will never find them. Or just make them glint constantly, like Resident Evil does. That's how we got an NES. My dad wasn't going to buy us one because he said, you have an Atari. Atari is plenty. And then when I wanted a Super Nintendo, my sister was out of the house by that point, up to the various gapers that she was at that age. He said, you don't need a Super Nintendo, you have a regular Nintendo. You have it. What do you need another Nintendo for? And he just never gave in. So I had to get a side hustle mowing people's lawns because I couldn't wake up early enough to do the paper route. So I mowed all my neighbors' lawns over and over until I had enough money, and then I bought a Sega Genesis instead because a friend of mine had a Sega and it impressed me. Which I wish I hadn't done. I know that there are a lot of people who love Sega. I was one of them. It wasn't as good as Super Nintendo in terms of the game selection. Unless you really like sports games. I guess it also had more shoot 'em ups. But for most genres, Sega was the worst choice. But I eventually just kept on hustling until I could buy 2 consoles, and I bought a Super Nintendo some years, I think like 96 or 7. So quite a ways after N64 was out, actually. More like 7 or 8. He had a point, though. No, my dad would never have told me you have computer games instead, because he didn't want there to be games on the computer. He liked the idea of a console for keeping the games separate, but he didn't want games on the computer, because he was one of those dads who thought games slow down the computer, despite being a computer engineer. Or that's maybe just what he told us, to keep games off of it, which made me feel really devalued. Anything I liked was not worth the space on the family computer. It was only for his use, and I didn't get my own. I did eventually get my own computer, but it was like an 8-bit. It was his old computer, which could run like. I think it was a 286. Was my very first computer. 286 or 386, I forget which. Do I have a flashlight? How do I turn the power back on? Why would I go anywhere without a flashlight? That didn't sound like me. There it is. I'm gonna spot a black key in darkness. Oh, speaking of which, there was a stranger in the house this morning. I got up and there was just a guy wandering around, and he saw me and he left. I don't know how he was in here. I can't say what he looked like because I'll get banned off of Twitch. I could say he was fat. He was a big fat guy. He was wearing a shirt that looked like he worked for a company. So I'm thinking what happened is that he was from a home care provider with the hospital. And I talked to my dad and asked, "Do you remember asking for a home care provider?" And he said, "No." And this was the day he was supposed to arrive, but I left him a message specifically not for him not to come here because I wasn't going to be home. So I'm thinking either what happened. Damn, she got the moves. Show me what that ass do. That's what she sounds like if you do it right. Oh wait, she's my sister, never mind. So anyway, either that's what happened, either he didn't remember not actually contacting them to not send somebody, because I did see a car later on parked at the coffee shop I stopped at for a elder care home service. It might have been his car. I'm thinking that's what happened, because the alternative is just someone walked in and decided to see if anyone was home before they stole anything, and saw me and said nope, and they noped the fuck out of there. which is possible because crime has been escalating in my area lately. It's been bleeding out of Portland. I think ever since they started to crack down on the daytime camping. For the second time in I think 3 months, a few nights ago, a guy tried to get into my car while I was parked. He couldn't see I was in the car because I wear dark clothing. It's a kind of a low slung car, and I had all the lights off. So a guy who looked like a skinny elderly tweaker with a skeleton face and a red bandana and a backpack and ratty clothing came up and jiggled the car door handle and appeared inside, and then saw me and backed away in a hurry. I didn't do anything except for lock the doors. I think that's what tipped him off that I was inside, because I locked the doors before he could fucking get in. And he was like, oh shit. This one's got somebody inside. That's the second time. That's 3 times total so far. The first time, just a big... I can't say what she looked like again, except that she was fat because of Twitch. But she looked like she was maybe 24, 23. She got into my car and said that she was being chased by like bad men. She was in trouble with some people, and she needed me to drive her to a safe house. And me being a gullible rube, I drove her there, and there was nobody there, and she was just like, she just wouldn't talk after that. I eventually realized that she just was homeless and wanted to be inside of something, because it was a cold night. It wasn't rainy, it was cold. And she just wanted to be inside as long as possible, which I empathized with. So, she wasted some of my gas, though. She wouldn't answer my questions. She pretended to be asleep. She tried to get some sleep on the ride back to where I picked her up. She just had gotten into my car, and at first I thought she mistook me for her Uber. This happened last year. I was like, "This is not an Uber." She was like, then she gave me the spiel, and I'm lucky that she didn't drive me someplace and have me stop for a bunch of her friends to pop out. Yeah, anyway, third time. Second time was another person I can't describe the appearance of in too much detail without getting into trouble. This was 4 or 5 nights ago. It was nighttime. I was stopped at an intersection, and she came running at my car, waving her hands. And then she reaches out. She didn't reach me. I took off. I was assuming she was going to try to get in my car, too. If she was being chased by a serial killer, rip in peace. Ripperonis and pepperonis. Because I'm not falling for that again. Black key. What the color is black key? It must be black. That's why it's the black key, not the green key. Maybe it's behind one of these objects. It's like, what number is 911? What if it wasn't, though? What if the black key was red? Like, fuck you, I don't owe you anything. I don't have to make sense. What language is this? Russian. How can this be Russian? Russian. Never mind, there's the rug. They were eating Borglar, though. Do they have, like, pelmeni? Borglar? Borscht, Borglar, the Borschtger. So anyway, this was the third time someone tried to get in my car. The first one succeeded. I basically just drove her back to where I found her. I brought her food. I brought her a thick blanket and a tarp that I had in the garage to sleep on. I could have given her my tent. I don't use that anymore. But I didn't want to leave her with nothing. At that time, I was still kind of gullible about the nature of the homelessness problem in this part of the country. And I felt bad for her. Um, and the problem is my parents are elderly and senile, but in denial about it, and they get angry and cry whenever I bring it up because they don't want to grow old, which I empathize with. So they leave the front door hanging open or unlocked constantly because they're product of a different time when it was safe to do that, and we don't live in that time anymore. And speaking of Short Talk's story about leaving his windows unlocked, my dad left his passenger side door just ajar overnight. Just hanging open. And can't remember shit reliably. I'm trying to watch over him and make sure that he doesn't do anything dangerous. He's at least in physically good condition. He's in better mental condition than my mother, and he's in better physical condition because he carried his big fat gut for all of his life, most of his life. He only really got fat after he started doing a sedentary job. And then that built muscle. And then the muscle stayed after the fat left. So he could still get around just fine. No help needed. I looked into becoming an in-home caregiver, by the way, Short Talk. They have They have income caps on that for not just me but the whole household that we don't qualify for because of Social Security. You have to be dirt poor to get involved with that program, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would jump at it. I'm not shy about availing myself of government programs because as little money as I make, I pay taxes. I'm keen to get back as much of my taxes as I can. Maybe it's nostalgia for a safer time, Nedist. Maybe your parents are not coping well with living in a different time when that's not safe anymore. They don't want to believe that it's not the same America they grew up in. French fries perfected. How are they different from regular French fries? Is that fucking soup? Is this French fries? It could be curry. That actually might be good. It might not be a bad idea. I don't think they'd go well in soup because they just get soggy. Go away, Baton! I am afraid no ghost. Let me tell you how to handle ghosts. You just get your dick out and start stroking it. They don't know what to do. The girl ghosts get all fucking flustered and they leave, and the guy ghosts get all disgusted. Sometimes it backfires and one of them's into it, but then that's kind of a win on its own merits if you think about it. Because then you get a ghost to dump loads in. Bustin' makes me feel good. It's boomer brain, Nedist. They grew up during they didn't build the habit. They grew up during a time that had less crime. It isn't just demographics either, regardless of what poll would tell you. It's also economics. There was less income inequality in the 50s and 60s. There was a bigger middle class, so there was a larger insular pocket within which most people were doing well enough that they wouldn't think of stealing. That's true. Ghosts are free. You can just bust some ghosts and bring them home with you in your ghost trap and then do whatever. I don't see any black keys, do you? I saw the green key hung here. Having a flashlight would be a big help. Is there a flashlight sitting around that I didn't notice? I'm just stupid and handsome. Boy, I sure wish I could read. I was thinking today about all the things that have just been memory hold, like the fact that the CNN and everybody else's narrative on Kyle Rittenhouse was totally fucking wrong, but left wing Twitter still doubles down on it. They're still 100% sure of their own talking points, even though that it was clearly disproven in court. And if you ask them about it, they'll just say, "Well, it was a mistrial. The justice doesn't always get served in the court system because it didn't rule the way they wanted it to." Or the fact that we never got the manifesto of Aubrey Hale, the Covenant school shooter. Or that we never got an Epstein client list. It's just on to the new outrage. On to the new rage bait. And whatever the new thing is crowds out the old thing in our brains. It's so hard to talk about because they flooded the zone with shit, so to speak. You can't talk about Epstein without people thinking you're QAnon, because QAnon is inextricably linked. That's like the nucleus of truth they built all their bullshit branches out from. But and if you talk because of that, if you talk to anyone about it, you're like, "Oh, well, Epstein existed, right? Oh, yes, he existed, chud. All right, well, he had an island, right? Yes, he had an island, right? He did, child sex crimes on the island, right? Okay, yes, he did. That's established. Well, do you think that was cheap to go to? You think it was cheap to go to the island and get your fucking knob slobbered by a child slave? No, probably not, right? Therefore, his client list must have included very wealthy people. And he must have had a lot of clients because it's not cheap to own an island and to pay the people who fucking landscape the island and to pay helicopter fuel costs. So you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist who thinks JFK Jr. is not really dead, or that Michelle Obama's a man, or that the vaccine has microchips or alien parasites in it, to understand that there are enough wealthy people buying services like that in the world to finance a private island and helicopter trips to it. So that part of it is necessarily true, and people, it almost seems like the whole Q thing was if I was conspiracy minded myself, I don't think this is what happened, but if I was involved in that shit, I would have orchestrated QAnon specifically to muddy the water, to associate true but damning information with balls to the wall nonsense, so that the two become confused with one another. Why would they be mad about that? They would be delighted that Trump was on the flight list. Although, devil's advocate, they point to like Clinton being on the flight list. I think Clinton probably did some stuff. A lot of famous people were on the flight list to get compromat on them, and the flights didn't all go to that island. He made sure to fly people around as a favor just to get them on the flight list, so that he had blackmail material. What the fuck is going on with these normal maps? That is a weird looking cinnamon toast. Like Matt Groening, who was a weird guy, but I don't think a criminal. Bill Gates was on one of the flights. But they just went like to New York or San Francisco. And that's I think why he photobombs people too at parties. Why there's so many photos of Epstein in this shot with other famous people, so that he could tie them to what he was doing. So if they wanted them to do something, then they had a leverage. The thing is, fucking everybody was on that flight list. No, it wasn't limited to one political party. That's what should have made it a bipartisan issue, but I think there were too many people in Congress on that list to get anything done about it. And you know what would have happened if the client list had been leaked? They would have just been like, what are you going to do about it? They would have just shrugged and been like, go ahead, try to have us arrested. Or like one guy, they would have picked one guy to be thrown under the bus. Which I guess was Epstein in this case. Keep in mind we have a CIA that periodically releases reports like that they killed JFK. And they're just like, what are you going to do about it? What can you do? The cynic in me says this is why they want to disarm us, but honestly, even with guns, what could one or even 100 people do? Nothing. Without the certainty of being ruby-ridged by the government. I'm sounding like Dale Gribble tonight. Sorry for that. Just been thinking about stuff. I'm in a dark place. There's a level of wealth and power above which you're just totally untouchable, because you sign everybody's paychecks. How the fuck do I... There was a button there for a second. I can't interact with it anymore. It's somewhere around here. I'm not giving up on this. This one's too well made. Is there a word for that? I know certain words like compromat and Zersetzung, which is biological degradation, which is just basically entrapping someone with compromising material in order to get leverage on them. What is it called when, in order to decrease the credibility of allegations, you associate ridiculous, you expand upon them with ridiculous obvious lies? So that if it seems like for one to be true, the other stuff has to be true as well. Go away, ghost. The cynic in me thinks that's what happened there. But then again, they have a pretty firm line of evidence linking Watkins to the Q account. Maybe not the original one, but he's certainly who took over. Him or his dad. I was watching Q Into the Storm about the genesis of that whole insane movement tonight. And over the last couple nights, there's like 5 or 6, 7. Oh, the clock's going like crazy. Oh, you know things are really fucked up now. Oh, crazy clock. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? It's like what happened with UFOs. Although I don't know, honestly, if that was a deliberate disinformation effort by the government or if just people did that. By grifters and crazy people adding their own lore to the mythos. But the credible accounts are mixed in with the bullshit accounts. So it's impossible to know... You know what I mean? Like the stuff that's obviously false is at one end of the spectrum, and then there's stuff that may be true, mixed in there. I don't know why they decided to come clean when they did. Maybe because enough service members had seen stuff, or because to get out ahead of that one whistleblower. I think they're aliens, frankly. I think if it was Russian, they'd be using them on the battlefield right now. I think if they're American, we'd be using them in Israel. on the on the Gaza Strip right now. If they were Chinese, they would have already taken over Taiwan. Where should I look for a black key? Why am I key hunting? Is that the gameplay? Do I need to turn something over to find a black key on the back of it? It's the basic mechanics of a horror game. I've seen 100 games just exactly like this one. I don't know. That's not really a compliment or an insult. It's just a neutral observation. What is that? Ooh, I feel like it has to be in here somewhere. Blue, red, and white. What do these mean? Do they mean something? 352. Is that a combination of some sort? I grabbed something from here. Was that not the key? Oh, there's a little dude. He's just a little feller. Moving around. Oh, yep, he's moving. Apparently we don't think that's cause for alarm. Oh. Oh! As expected, that's what the dice were about. Ah. Why would the CIA spread flat Earth stuff? Just to condemn other stuff by association? The Earth is not flat. I'm quite sure of that. The physics don't make sense. So what would their motivation be? Fucking social engineering. I don't understand the conspiracy theorists. There's enough actual confirmed stuff that the CIA has done. You don't need to make up new stuff. If you were to just build a movement around suing the CIA for stuff they're already on record as having done in the past, you might be able to get somewhere. Wasn't it the CIA, or who was it that offered fake vaccines to POC, to black men, but actually infected them with, what was it, polio or something, to study the effects? That's something our government did. That's why they said the POC vaccine hesitancy was understandable, which the alt-right had a field day with. Sounded very biased, but it made sense, frankly. It's awful. Also makes me wish I worked for them, kind of. It's like if 4chan had government backing. Oh, this is what the red key opens. Alright. Oh, well. Well, hey! I'm Jiggle Billy! Commence the jiggling! She hasn't really done anything spooky, so... Oh, kinky. Maybe bad kinky. Oh. Yeah, I would never physically discipline a child, which might spoil them, but I was physically disciplined and I could never do it. I could never inflict that on anybody smaller than me. As they say, strong men create good times and weak men create bad times. I guess it would create bad times by creating bad children. If indeed that's not an effective way to raise a well-behaved child. I mean, if my kid brought home meth or something, maybe. If it was like life or death. If they got picked up for like attempted rape or something and showed up in a squad car, I might. It'd have to be very serious, though. I don't think that's how you cultivate a positive relationship with your kids. Like, if my kid tried to kill somebody, then yeah, I would have to do something drastic, not to terrorize them, but to impress upon them the severity of what they have done. If they won't listen any other way. Then again, if you raise them well up until that point, they won't that won't happen in the first place. I don't think. What the fuck was that? Oh. Real funny, Ghost. Come on now. It ain't gonna suck itself. I got you on film. I got you on camera, acting a fool. This is going straight on TikTok, Ghost. They're gonna say it's cringe, you know. You know that, right? Is that what you want, Ghost? Do you want to be TikTok cringe? I will say, really good sound design. The spoops were not really spoopy. It didn't get me to yell. It's other subtle stuff for jump scares that make me yell, though, so I might not want to get what I wish for in this case. It was interesting. It wasn't bad, I could say honestly. What have I gotten lately? I played a horror game. Oh, we didn't finish this one. Let's do this one. We have plenty of time tonight. So, yeah, my beef with actual conspiracy theorists is not that the government is not trustworthy. It's that you don't know what they've done until they disclose it. It's the presumption that they know what's going on, which is, I think, what makes them feel smart and involved in the world. Like they're important. It's like what atheism is to a middle schooler in a private Christian school. Except that would be correct in that case. in my dreams. I'm gonna piss. I'm gonna piss. It really didn't help with the media's perception that all crypto is a Ponzi scheme. Man, I hate unpacking and unpacking. That's why car camp. You never have to do that. That is true. Precisely. Well said, Ness. Maybe that's what I needed. Fucking NFTs to sell my books. How do I sell my books? What would you do in my situation? Should I stop focusing on physical books? Is that a dead end these days? I feel like that was needed, at least for legitimacy. Like nobody will listen or give the time of day to an author who's not trad-pubbed. But maybe this is just my foot in the door. Maybe this is my sign from the universe that I need to take the fact that I'm trad-pubbed and use that to get my foot in the door at like Netflix. What do you think? It's hard as fuck to get anyone to read anything if they don't want to. If it's not something they already know they'll like. It's a little bit less hard to get them to listen to something if it's an audiobook. It's still pretty hard. It's even less hard to get them to watch a video, but it's still not easy if they don't know for sure they'll like it in advance. I'm looking for something with the least barrier to entry for new media. I either need to make games are probably the lowest one, and even then it's still hard to get discovered with a new game. I need to make something different with my talents that will actually get noticed. How do I do that? Do you agree though that there's more of a market for video games than books right now? And there's more of a market for video than there is for books, and there's more of a market for audio. I just think I need to try different things and find out what works. Because clearly books aren't doing it. I think most of the people who bought my first book were just doing it to help me get off the ground. They don't want the second one. I guess that's on me. I put my earliest work in book one. It was not my strongest work. There are some bangers in there, but not the first story. First story is basically just world building. Should I fucking say I'm non-binary or some crap? That would probably help me get a foot in the door with almost any publisher these days. They seem to, you're right. So I think I need to make video content somehow. Using AI. I'm branching out to more horror YouTubers. One thing that I think will help is having physical copies of my books to mail to people I want to collab with. To impress them. And to give them something of mine to read. Especially publishers, to see that I have been trad-pub before. I have a pretty good reason to give them why I didn't do well, though. One of the reasons that was identified by my publishers, they mostly do fucking furry graphic novels, which is not a good... It's not on brand for me. People click onto the website, and if they click off my store page, they find out that Dreamkeeper's Comics mostly does for anthro art and graphic novels and board games, which they're just who was willing to take a risk on me, basically. That's the only reason for that association, which I'll forever be thankful to them for that. I don't know if this relationship is going to be a lasting one. I don't have any choice but to do AI. I can do my own voice. I don't have a good voice for horror, though, is the problem. I don't have a good voice for anything. Must be a new neighbor. A couple kilometers. Over there. Welcome, lovely people. Oh, she's the woman from the tape. She seems friendly. You're gonna love it. Where Anna says something now. That's a lot of history. It's very unique. All right then. I want to keep. Let me pass to you. I want to. Can I shut the door in her face? I can. You just stand there. I guess I have to eat her pastry. I wanted to keep moving boxes. I didn't complete the task. Grostoli. This is drugged, isn't it? Is she gonna be gone? Yep, she was gone. Welcome home. Was that a cursed pastry? I know. Everybody fucking tells me that. I don't want to make furry shit. Although I did have an idea for a furry horror thing that's basically just Jurassic Park with furries. Where they're genetically created for perverts. But that's just the island of Dr. Moreau, isn't it? That's been done already. Maybe I could work that into the plot, like the guy is sick of people comparing it. I think Dr. Moreau story is as beyond the possibility of copywriting because it's over 100 years old. What's RVC? Short talk. I talked about this on stream before, didn't I? The concept of furry Jurassic Park, where the horror comes from the fact that genetics is too complicated to make a single animal person the way that you want them to be. So you have to grow several different animal people with the different body parts you want, and you have to surgically graft them together. Like one of them doesn't have the animal head, but does have the legs, and the other one has like the wings or whatever you want, and so you have to sacrifice those ones and cut the parts off and graft them on the one that has the animal head. No, I don't want to do that. I want to keep putting boxes away. It won't let me pick it up. Boo. What's it about? I'm gonna shut the door. Fucking patrons. He's got to be making gigabucks. 1,000 patrons. Jesus. 2 years to make. 6 hours long. Jesus. I have a control scheme for this. You get to choose the action you want for the object you're pointing at. But there's a lot of dry stuff in the history of EVE. It is an MMO. There's also some juicy stuff too, like Goon Swarm, which I was around for. I used to love listening to Goon Swarm lore. Pretty foggy. Are those street lamps, or is that a big car? Oh. It's getting spoopy. Bathrooms, right? Would be the first thing to check. Time to ignore the dripping sound and load the rest of the boxes. Well, I'm getting tired of having to cough up mucus every 15 seconds. I'm really, really tired of having most post-nasal drip. I cleaned this room. I installed AC unit, powered air exchanger. I'm still coughing up mucus. How long is this going to last? What is wrong with my body? For 6 fucking years, 6 long years, I had a dry hacking cough that one of my girlfriends said sounded like COPD. It wasn't COPD. It was from using a propane heater indoors to save money. It wasn't really ventilated at all either. I stopped using the propane heater, the cough went away. Then the post-nasal drip started. I did a deep clean of the carpet. I cleaned the walls. I don't know what else I can do. I installed the air exchanger in the AC unit. I might just have to take up a buddy on his offer for me to come live in one of his spare rooms. He lives in Tennessee, though. I don't know if that would be a good fit for me. It does have a carpet. I shampoo the carpet. I clean the carpet. I don't think it's possible to get everything out of there that's in there now. It's hell, though, being this way. I'm not a happy camper. Leak in the ceiling. Weird feeling. I could have played this yesterday. Maybe. That's not a bad idea. What I do know is that when I went up to my friend Susie's cabin in Washington this last summer, the condition went away within about 8 hours. I coughed up my fucking lungs, and then after I did that, it completely went away for the 2 days I stayed there. 3 days, actually, total. So I know it's specific to this environment, and it will go away if I am away from the environment long enough. It's my cat, isn't it? Little cat. Is that you? How do you keep getting out there? The cat flap is in this window. How else do you get into the house? How do you do that? Come here. This is gonna sound weird. I guess it is weird, but it's not sexual. I swear, I'm not like that. Cat buttholes look like chewed up bubblegum, don't they? That's my nickname for her, is bubblegum butthole. Because she loves to fucking stick it in my face when she's crawling around on me for getting pettins. I don't want to see that. It's got Flexiturd on it. She sure fucking wants me to closely inspect it, though. What is this? Rumble. I didn't watch the other two tapes. Well, I understand this one. Oh, they can do a full same screen. Huh. Look, I should have watched the other tapes first, I think. Oh, can I grab them now? What happened? I can, okay. I should have watched all three tapes from the start. I'm watching them out of order, though. How do I know my butthole doesn't look like that, too? Obviously, I examined it in a mirror, okay? Don't picture that. Camera sitting on the counter. Previous owner. Slightly damaged. Anxiously rehearsing his first words for the camera. Uneasy and disturbed. Huh. Anyway, time to continue loading boxes. Thank God I can finally load boxes again. I don't care how haunted your house is, you gotta unpack sometime. Frankly, for what houses go for these days, it doesn't even really matter where this is. I saw a Zillow listing for a house that was formerly a meth lab, and they were selling it for $1.5 million, zero remediation. So the responsibilities for cleaning up after the meth smoke residue fell entirely on the owners, the new owners. That's just what the market's like now. I don't think the market's going to self-correct until boomers die. Because they're the ones trying to squeeze blood out of a stone. ask myself. What am I doing here? Spooky house, spooky house. Can I unpack the boxes now? This is elaborate. What the fuck is this thing? This butt plug? Oh, never mind. I mean, I guess if you're brave. Technically, anything could be a butt plug. You bet your ass I'd buy a haunted house. Then they would call me Hamdad Homeowner. Homeowner Hamdad is what they would call me. Then they would have to listen to me talk about Atari until the ghosts were like, fuck this, I'm just gonna go to hell. It's gotta be better than this. Did they really make a whole game out of unpacking? It's starting to look like they did. Exactly that thing. Riveting gameplay. It is pretty detailed. You should have it in front of the toilet for that splatter. The splatter possibilities. Or you can answer. I've been ghosting everyone on my phone. Shit. Aw. I would probably depress the ghosts so much that they would kill themselves and come back to life, because they'd be double dead. Does he really believe that? I'm not convinced. Look at this Chad's computer. That is a real man's computer. It's got two what look to be CD-ROM drives It's a multimedia beast. Look at that collection of CD-ROMs, too. That's got to be like 4 or 5 gigabytes there. Did 3 of these rooms so far. Kitchen, bathroom, downstairs office. I haven't done this yet. What year is this set in? Look at that fucking jukebox. It's somewhat original, I have to give him that. Can't say this is anything like anything I've ever played before. If I could figure out how to rotate these, that'd be awesome. This would probably hit home more if I ever had a relationship longer than 3 years. That's my high score. I pretty much resigned myself to dying alone now. What is... Orb? Where go orb? Where orb go? Go away, orb. Not want orb here. That's nice, but listen, I'm gonna need to finish unpacking, so leave me alone for a little bit, ghosts. We can do all this shit later. Listen, ghost, let me do my thing first, okay? We'll do your thing later on. This is actually working. I can't hold it though. I can just tap it. Ever tell you about the time when my first girlfriend bought a new one because I bought one and she wanted to be included? I warned her. I said, listen, I'm an autist and a hipster who buys hardware nobody else should own. And I'm only buying this because of Tempest 3000. It's the only place to play it. And she's like, no, it's cool technology. I want to explore this with you. She dropped like 100. This was on clearance too, so it's like $99. I still feel bad she bought a new one. Because that was not something... even I should not have bought a new one. Nobody should have ever bought a new one. Remember New On? Probably not. It was another company trying to do a PS2 after the PS2. Where they're like, if we're the first DVD player that plays games, everybody will buy one and have this in their home, whether they know it or not. It had like 5 games. I don't know what persuades Jeff Minner to publish on hardware that no one owns. He's had a pretty comfortable career, though, publishing for Atari Jaguar, 8-bit microcomputers, New On, and now the VCS. But I just had to have whatever platform Tempest 3000 was on. I don't care about the ghosts. I just want to unload my fucking shit. The ghosts can wait their turn. There's nowhere I can put these. I guess here. That's not where these go. What an absurdity. Why do I have so many fucking framed photographs? That's not normal. That's the spookiest thing about this. There's not even anywhere to put all this shit. Alright, we're going to go to the basement. Give me what you got, Spoopermans. Oh. That's floor meat. Oh, gosh, it's frustrating now. That's fucking ghost cum. Or no, these are the haunted ghost turds I keep talking about. They're so real. This is a tiny basement for a house that size. Am I wrong? It should be the size of the foundation, shouldn't it? That'd probably be a good place to have a hidden room if you want a place to put all your bad dragon dildos. Not have them get found by children at Thanksgiving when all your relatives come over. You just wall off part of your basement. Or you could hide dead bodies. I'm not saying you should, but you could. Time to play Tetris. Cool fucking Minecraft painting, bro. Real original. This is what free thinkers do when they see Minecraft paintings. I already did this, I think. Yep. Do I have to put the boxes back in the truck? It's getting spoopy a little bit. I think so. Why would it still be heavy? Oh, where's the front door? This presents certain problems for my plans for today. The texture hasn't changed down there, though. Sloppy ghost. You can't trust ghosts to do anything right. You would think they'd be more trustworthy because they're so transparent. Thank you, folks. I'll be here all night. Try the shrimp. I don't think doors normally do that, do they? Can I not reach that box now? I can't reach the box now. I can't. I made a terrible mistake. I can't unload the fucking box. I can't unload the box. Can't unload the box. I want to unload the box. I can do this one. No, I can't. It won't let me. What is it? Just skip to the end. I need to rearrange some of these items if it'll let me. It won't let me. I put them in places I don't agree with now. I guess bedroom. What a nice thing to have in your home. Have your buddies over and show them a comfy time. Oh no, this door is also gone. It's a moratorium on doors, huh? This must be a Silent Hill ghost. They hate real doors. They love fake doors. Real fake doors. That's where the body is, huh? Where is that, three-dimensionally, in relation to the rest of the house? Can I get out here? Uh-oh. Well, that's never been positive in the history of spoofer games. Oh, orb. I'm gonna fuck you. Think I'm scared of you? Bring it in close, big boy. PS1 wife, PS1 wife, PS1 wife. Turn around. Hey yo, shawty, what does that mouth do? Did you put on weight? Answer the question. Don't just disappear. We're having a conversation. Oh no! Shit's upside down. Now you know it's truly fucked up. It was not my fault. You'd think he'd understand what's going on by now. Am I the guy from the tapes? Can't use the TV. Can't use the lamp. Must be on a time limit. Can I open this? I can open this. I think I missed a spook just now. Oh no, the Reddit back rooms. I hope I don't get chased by Freddy Fazbear. What's good, Stratagift? Stratagift, guess how many books I sold in the pre-order run? Guess how many copies got pre-ordered? Who wants to tell him? Spoopy, spoopy, everything's gone. The horror of being targeted by a furniture thief. It's just PT at this point. PT was terrifying the first time. Oh. Honey? 12 copies. 40 is how much the first one sold. Honker boob. Let's see her try to ignore that. Yeah, 12 copies. I'm pretty fucking depresso. I'm gonna drink a depresso espresso. It sounds much more delicious than how I feel. I'm deep, deep, deep in the pits of despair. Look at you, honey. You're hungry, aren't you? Wait for a while. Where have you been? Don't you miss us? Why don't you join us? Can't join you, I'm so sorry. You're not join us, really, is your daddy. What if I did choose to join them? Well, am I seeing a real physical person right now? Could I just grab her and bring her back from hell with me? Oh. Actually, I can join my family. Never mind. I can choose to anyway. I didn't mean to do that. No backing out now. That's what I feel like doing right now. Just feeding myself to a giant pile of sludge. There might not be a book 3. As a consequence of this. We'll have to replay this one to see what the other ending is. Good music, at least, finally. It actually was somewhat impactful. I like this. I like this one. It's pretty good. Good sound design really helped it. Bad ending. Do we do another run for the good ending? I don't know if there's enough time tonight. Sure there is, actually. It's only 9:40. How foolish of me. I don't want to push him too much. He says he's going to do another one of my stories. We have to see the good ending. It's gonna take a while. I wish they would just let us skip to it. I almost had the good ending. I just had to click on the poop again. Poopity scoop. Let me try this with a trackball just because I'm a pervert. And a masochist. Surely it can't be that bad. First person game with a mouse ball. A trackball. It's not the worst thing I've ever controlled. Actually, in fact, if I turn this up a little bit, it's much better. Trackball FPS. That'll be something new for the second time. I'm really bad at reaching out to people. I need an agent. Maybe all of my energy should just be focused on getting an agent, which should be easy now that I have 2 published books. As long as I don't tell them how much the second one sold. It sold enough that they could fund the printing run without going into the hole. They'll still profit from it. The thing is, the first one, a lot of the copies that sold were the deluxe edition with all the extras for like $200. And a lot of people bought those, so I made about $1,000 of my cut. I hate this. I'm going to use the controller again. Which means I have to do this again. That's better. I should not put that there. Should not put that there either. That'll make it easier to unpack later. Was this always open? I didn't open this. This starts out open. I need an agent in the worst way. What I need are connections, and I'm fucking too tismatic. I have tismosis. Too much so to have connections that would help me. It's only... It's like I doomed this playthrough of my life by not doing any of the side quests. And thus not making any of the friendships I needed to make. I made some good ones. Made some good, important, nourishing friendships, but not ones that help me professionally. Oh. Wait, what did that do? What happened? Left click just puts it down wherever it would appear. This goes to the guest bedroom. I sure wish I could fucking hold it closer to my body. Not in the bathroom. I wouldn't make anyone sleep there. Mechanic, actually. That would date this to what, like the 1990s? Late 90s, though, I would think. Not everybody had one of these. I still want to be a success as an author, I just don't know if I get to be. I've kind of painted myself into a corner where I have to make something work. And it's going to be a rough life if I don't. Like the guy who invented Conan the Barbarian. This is All the Windows Are Gone, Tasty Cupcake. Vinny played it on his channel. Downstairs office. It's actually pretty good, but it's a real slow burn. It takes a long time for anything spooky to happen. So settle in and get comfy. You're not going to see any Spoopermans for a good long while. We already did it one playthrough, but I got the bad ending because I'm a noob. Rookie move, climbing into the demon sludge. Who does that? And has 2 thumbs? This guy. Does it matter where we put these? Is it check? Also, Tasty Cupcake, guess how many copies of my new book got pre-ordered? I'm intent on traumatizing as many other people with this news as I was. Just throw a number out there. What you think is a reasonable ballpark figure. Upstairs master bedroom, if I recall. Right this way. Wait, this can't be right. Upstairs master bathroom. Those are quite different. One does not normally sleep in the bathroom unless they're hungover. Not that I drink, but I've had times where due to sleep deprivation I've been fucked up, and I took a nap in the bathtub with hot water in the shower on. Boy, that is cozy. I'm gonna choose other dialogue options. The first time. Oh, what if it was just drugs? The whole time. Get fucking doored, bitch. Right in the face. What is Grostoli, by the way? Anyone want to Google that for me? It sounds nasty, but it must be good. Oh, I can't pick that up anymore. During my first playthrough of this, I was able to pick it up every time. I can't risk the possibility that this is a trigger for an in-game event. There we go. Let me load the boxes. I actually never got to fully unpack the first time. And it won't let me do it this time either. Fuck, I guess I have to go to bed now. Alright, but I'm closing the door. And if I wake up and I go take a shit and a bunch of cum falls out of my ass like that, like on that one camping trip, I'm calling somebody this time. Scoutmaster Randy can't keep getting away with it. There we go. Alright, well. Haha, time for unconsciousness. The practice round for death. Someone didn't dream about this house. Cool, let me skip this. Cool, let me skip this. Let me skip this. Can I talk to you? There we go. Spoiler alert, she's not going to be okay. Spit take. Spit out milk I wasn't drinking. Well, I don't know what to add to that. We've been through this before. That's kind of, I mean, we've all been there, right? Who hasn't been in that situation? This playthrough should go faster now that we know where the dripping noise is coming from, also. We wasted a lot of time before doing other stuff. I could probably just speedrun this. Oh, cool. Accidental double click. Cat, come here, cat. Come on my lap. Get on my lap, little one. Listen, cat, if you want pettings, this is where they happen. The lap is the pet zone. It is the prime cuddle zone for kittors, and you're one of those, I'm pretty sure. Let me see if I can just continue unloading these boxes. I can't. Little cat, get on my lap. Quit screaming at me. Prime Cuddle Zone. Brought to you by Fox Sports. Have you ever thought about how the argument that an armed society is a polite society is at odds with the arguments against cancel culture? Because cancel culture is just the same thing. It's a society where every individual has the power to completely fucking destroy you if you look at them wrong. It's just in one case you're physically dead, and in the other case you just wish you were. Has that led to a more polite society? Maybe. I mean, I can see arguments either way. I would say the chilling effect on speech has made people more hesitant to speak their mind, lest it offend someone. And by some measures, that's a more polite society. God, I miss those sounds. I miss my Nokia. I miss my Symbian Nokia. What gets me is the boxes stay heavy after you empty them. Much better sound design than the last one. Much better. Sound design matters so much in horror games. The graphics can be shit, and it still will be scary. Do you think the dev behind Animoyopolis is shitting his pants trying to get in touch with Kane Pixel right now? The guy who did the oldest view? And to ask if he can turn Westview Mall from that video into a level in Animoyopolis? Because that seems like an obvious collab. Like, that doesn't need its entire own game. Y'all seen the oldest view, Red Tasty Cupcake? Can I safely assume the answer is yes? Actually, let me check something. Chat isn't updating anymore. I want to see if is it because people are quiet, or is it because... Alright, it's just because people are quiet. There's 100% gonna be a oldest view video game. You'd have to be stupid not to, after how viral it went. Question is, does it get rolled into another game of that sort, or does it get its own? Probably its own game, because he'll want the rights and he'll want to be able to sell it. Especially since it was made in Blender, so he's already got the file of them all. They can turn into one big level. Kane Pixel's like 18 or 19 years old. He's 18, I think. He's about to be a fucking millionaire. It's hard not to be jealous. I would love to be in his shoes. The objects are different. I don't think it matters. Come here, kitten. Kitten cat. Hey, meow. You not want on here? You not want on this prime lap? This perfect, pristine lap? I don't understand that sentence. What do you mean, short talk? What are you talking about? What you talking about? That's good enough. I'll go down there. I want to put these on the shelf correctly for the first time. Take care. You can't tell me what to do. I'm going to take bad care of myself just because you said that. Have I done everything up here? No, I haven't. Mostly linens. I could put these away in the drawer, but I don't really give a shit. I don't think it counts. I think it grades you. Oh yeah. No, it's not that he's rich. It's Kane Pixel is just really, really talented. And he has like 38 videos. He's been at it for I think a year or so. But now he's got like millions of views. He's got like it's like Gooseworks, the guy who made the Incredible Digital Circus. Got 50 fucking million views on that video. Granted, it was very high effort. And perfectly calculated to the zeitgeist of Twitter and the internet at large. He's got several waifu bait characters. Several husbando bait characters. It's like it was made for Tumblr. And I thought it was clever, actually. What does that make me? Oh, really? I have to? 50 million views. That's quite a lot of money. 50 million views. Orb. You don't faze me. Perfectly spherical son of a bitch. Can't watch that. Spherical. It's hard not to despair when you see someone that much younger than you succeed immediately in such a big way. He's getting a movie too. Even though he didn't originate the Backrooms, he's the one who's going to be involved in the Backrooms movie project. I wish him all the best. I just wish I had that kind of success. Clearly what I need to be doing is making viral video content. I think the secret sauce of Digital Circus is just anxious, alienated Zoomers who feel like they're born into a world they don't understand, and they have to occupy a role they don't understand or believe in. There's all these rules they weren't told about, and they feel like a clown that has to dance for society's amusement. The Digital Circus is just society, man. Picking up what I'm laying down? Society. Could you stop texting me? I'm trying to precisely position furniture. That goes on the floor. Also, this goes on the floor. This goes on the floor as well. This goes on the wall. It's the only object that doesn't go on the floor. I put it on the floor. I don't think it keeps track. Wouldn't it be funny if that's how you get a good or bad ending? Is if you actually bother to correctly position the shit? Like anyone's gonna do that? Can I just keep positioning shit? I just want to unpack my stuff, man. the floor. On the floor. On the wall. In the bookshelf. On the floor. It's unpacked, technically. Don't get up my fucking ass about it. Unless you buy me dinner first. Also, to be fair, a lot of these people had a strong YouTube presence before they went viral massively. So I need to produce... This is a wake-up call. The wake-up call is that getting TradPub does not matter nearly as much as it used to. That if I really want to not die homeless or live in an RV, if I'm lucky, what I need to do is start applying my talents to mediums that people actually pay attention to that make a lot of money. Nobody's going to buy a $35 book when they can buy a $10 video game and get more out of it. If the point is to scare people, the game is more viscerally frightening than any book. Scary books just kind of make you sad or paranoid. I need to get with the times, man. I still am really glad I'm TradPub. That's a feather in my cap. I think that'll work to my favor in the long run. But I need to do something different. The track I'm on is not working out for me. If I wanted to go whole hog into writing and stick to it, the next step would be to get an agent. To find a publisher that is a better fit and that it will do the advertising for me. As much as I truly love the guys I'm with now, they gave me a chance and they've been wonderful, except for not doing any advertising. But they're a small outfit. A lot of them do that. That's the standard nowadays. It used to be that the publishers took care of everything. They would edit for you. They'd fucking advertise it for you. They'd give you an advance. You don't get no fucking advance now. Actually, that's not true. I got a $500 advance for buying Christmas presents. But for the most part, all that shit's gone away now. Used to be the successful author. You didn't even have to be that successful. But authors in general who got TradPub made big money. Like, they made, like, comfortable living money. More people read them, though, for pleasure, I think. The fuck? Can they not continue unloading? Deja vu. Oh, the door's gone. Well, shit's starting to get real. Not that real. A little... Like 10% reality. You ever think about how much ancient philosophy goes out the window because of stuff we learned through science? And that philosophy guys are in denial about it? Like, a lot of stuff is simply invalidated because it was written in ignorance of evolution and has conclusions that are contrary to it or don't make sense in light of it. And it's not just that. It's also stuff like the basic nature of reality. It doesn't matter as much as I think people think it does. Uh, if reality is not reality, if it's a dream or an illusion or a simulation, that doesn't really change science. Science is just a model of how whatever this is works. If reality, what we call reality, behaves in a self-consistent way, reliably from one day to the next, and the rules are the same everywhere, and they stay the same over time, then we can use that to build a map of how reality operates. And if it turns out it's a simulation, that doesn't. All that changes is the contextual. How to put this? It goes from being a map of how reality operates to being a map of how the simulation operates. You see what I mean? The context changes. The nature of what you are exploring and understanding changes, but it doesn't invalidate your understanding of it. I am on Amazon. Some of my stuff is on Amazon, but I'm going to take it down. Because anything I publish in TradPub form gets taken down from Amazon. Unless I can talk my publisher into put it into publishing it as ebooks on Amazon, which I hope they already do. If they don't, I don't know what they're doing. I have some of my like shitty early unformatted ebooks on there, which I believe is now down to just 3 things: Pressure, Resurrection Men, which is included in the new novel, the new anthology rather, and the one I did with Narcosis Dev. So eventually, I'll have nothing to sell on Amazon. It'll all be physical books. I'll talk to my publisher about getting ebooks up on Amazon. Yeah. Used to be all my stuff was up there. I wanted to be legit though. I wanted to sell physical books to people. Apparently what really sells is niche pervert smut. So everyone telling me I should write furry stuff is completely fucking right. I just don't want to listen to them. I'll be 7 years old living in a trailer park and be like, God, fine! And start writing furry smut, and then I'll get rich like 1 year before I die. Or not at all, more likely. Who's knocking on what? I can't. Can I sleep? So there were drugs in the pastry, right? That's the gist of all this? Or is that just to create plausible deniability? What do I do? Wait, what am I supposed to do? I forget this part. Look, I'm hungry and I'm out of money too, almost. Got like $3 left. That's enough for like a Taco Bell dinner. I'm hoping, fingers crossed and toes crossed. Oh, that's what I do. This is going to be part of my life that I recount later as a successful author. Like how Stephen King talks about when he was waiting tables and living in a trailer park. But there's nothing dishonorable about that. All these new tiny homes and all these new pod houses they're selling for $100,000 are just trailers, but without the zoning advantages, for the most part. Boxable is just a trailer, basically. What I think that they're doing, the people behind these companies, is trying to glamorize that existence, because that's what we're going to have to accept if everybody on Earth wants to live at a reasonable quality of life. They're just gonna warehouse poor people. That's how basic income is gonna be feasible. Homer! Did you buy eggs for Bart? Only eggs can sustain the boy. Little Kit Kat, you finally decided to join me on my lap, huh? This is a natural habitat of a lap cat. Listen, just let me fucking unpack. Oh, there it is. Hello, you little feller. Apparently when we die, we get spider powers. That's pretty sick, actually. Only eggs can sustain me. So weird thing happened recently. I went to the gym after skipping gym one time, and I felt weak as hell. Skipping one gym session, I could barely lift the weights I normally lift effortlessly. How am I losing that much fucking strength? What does God look like? A bunch of unfathomable machines in space. Which is probably the least satisfying answer to that question. To anyone of any religion. Womp womp. God is a robot. Where's the good ending? Was there a way to avoid this? Is the only ending in this room to jump into the sludge? There we go. Let family go. Let family. Well, that's equally bleak in its own way. You don't just get over that shit. Apparently, he's in a car accident and his family died, like his wife and his baby. Leak seems to have stopped. Lick it up. Scoop up that shit. Put it in a cup. Pound a funnel into your urethra and pour it in there. Or you're a coward. And a beta soy cuck. I'm so glad I did a good job of unpacking now. Now I gotta pack all my shit back up and put it back in the truck. So I answered it. Pretty good game, actually. I've got a cat on my lap to pet. Are you jelly? I don't get this, so I answered it. Is this a glitch? It's still doing it. There were secrets at all? What do you mean secrets? I'm not playing this again. It is a glitch. It's right. No translation found for. I think these are bugs, actually. Still on screen. I don't think that's supposed to happen. I think there's supposed to be other text in the ending credits crawl. It cannot be paused. Well, it can't be exited out of either. Let's see if I can remedy that. Play a little bit of Atari. Round out the evening. I got my finger on the pulse of this generation's zeitgeist. What the Zoomies want is Atari and lots of it. When I'm right, I'm right. Cat, no, don't grab that. It's not for you. That's not for you. That's never stopped her before. I don't know why it would now. Why have I not played? What am I going to get next also? I've been thinking about it. Probably BPM Boy when the money hits, because it's not expensive and it's one of the only other really good looking exclusives for this console. Currently it's a timed exclusive. I'm also noticing a trend. You can play almost anything with the joystick controller, but almost anything is better played with anything else. 128 games, too, huh? That's impressive for a machine like this. It's doing better than Jaguar was, but that's not a high bar, given how much the industry has grown. This is the one. It's the physics platform where your ball with headphones. It looks much more professionally done than a lot of them. I enjoyed whatever that marble game was on Xbox 360, which Oni plays, keeps coming back to. It's the closest thing to 3D platformer that this system has. It's from an accomplished developer. It looks pretty good. It's not common to say that of a fucking VCS exclusive. Not much else looks that great to me, except for the ones I went over last time. The one where you mash games together, which is also on Steam. It's not exclusive. I wouldn't even consider it on Atari, except that I can stream it now. Otherwise, I'd be missing out on a game I could use as Twitch content. There's a couple other ones. There's like Dangerous Scavengers. This one looks really good, actually. Does this not look good? No, I haven't. That's Doug DeMuro, right? What's the LS swap? This is the other one looks good. There's a couple that look good. This one looks good. This one looks kind of good. Oh, this one looks alright. This one looks actually interesting too. It's like a point-and-click adventure. A little Atari Mania. Yeah, this is the last guy helped out. Actually, you know what? Fuck this for a second. I forgot there was something else I wanted to show you. So we're gonna skip from Atari for a little bit. I know everyone's groaning. Oh no, we want Atari. We want Atari. Of course you are. That's what everyone wants. There's a game I haven't tried before that I tried on the recommendation of a retro gaming YouTuber. And it's actually quite good. Oh, it's interesting. An 8-cylinder engine in a DeLorean. I'd say it would be better off electric, but that's already been done. Someone already made one of those. Which was my dream car for a long time. It's just an electric DeLorean. Problem is maintenance. If it's a custom electric vehicle, shit can go wrong with those if you're not an expert electrical engineer. So I want to show you Legendary Acts 1 and 2, which are actually mega based. I know it's a weird thing to say about a technically an 8-bit game. These are not really even 16-bit. These are for the TurboGrafx 16, also known as the PC Engine. Get chat up in a different window here because RetroArch doesn't work with it. Also, I downloaded some weird version of RetroArch without this front end. I don't know what I did wrong on my other computer. It doesn't have this like PS3 style front end to it. There's a weird menu I don't like. Anyway, I'm going to show you. This was a launch title with the US release of the TurboGrafx, which by that point had already been out for two or 3 years. I want to say 2 years in Japan, which just doesn't happen anymore. They could have got a much bigger head start, but then again, they had a ready-made library for the US launch that way. And this console benefited greatly from coming out. What was it, 4 years after the Famicom? Even though it's not that far off hardware-wise, but obviously there's a lot more colors. The backgrounds are a lot more detailed. There's not parallax scrolling though. They didn't fucking anticipate that. Otherwise they would have put a chip in the console for that. Which they did eventually in the Super Graphics. Which was the most lackluster upgrade for a console ever. It was just the TurboGrafx but with scrolling backgrounds. Look at our little buff caveman Chad. Do we need health yet? That's not health, never mind. I think this one's health. That's probably waste. We'll find out. I like how it pans in the wrong direction, so I'm far away from what I need to... Actually, I'm stuck about a quarter to the left, regardless of which direction I go. Beautiful. I've already lost that health again. Notice I'm chopping off its legs little by little. I thought that was a cute detail. I was dimly aware of this when it came out. Because of Bonk and because of a rich classmate who had every console. Notice the meter in the upper left. That has a cooldown for your axe attack. So if you just spam the axe move, it doesn't have full strength every time. Which is also kind of how the sword works in Minecraft. So you don't get to be too OP. This is a sweet spot for me, though. It's nostalgically reminiscent of 8-bit, but it doesn't look as garbo as most 8-bit. It's like halfway in between. And I'm kind of here for that. Bears! Bears, 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 bears! Not monster, not dire bears, not zombie bears. Actual, just regular bears from nature are the boss. And there's 2 of them. We'd just be killing that wildlife out here. And to think, none of that would have been necessary if we just had covered our picnic and not brought uncovered food with us. Let's try the second zone. Flare's waiting for you. That would get me hyped up as fuck back in the day. It's fun little Castlevania-like, basically. You're a caveman. And much like US Super Mario Bros. 2, the sequel was a different game that was rebranded. It increases your power meter. You can juggle them like this. That's the secret to these guys. And they love to knock you off of cliffs like that. They just fucking love to do that. And you lose all your power you've accumulated. Juggle, 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 juggle. Not this time. Not today, Satan. He jumps weird, too. He jumps at like a diagonal and then straight down. I can't describe it. It's like this, then you fall abruptly. It's not an arc. This has to aid in landing on platforms, but it does the opposite. I hate these guys. Full health, full health, full health. Oh no, actually half health. No, you don't. Butterflies are gonna kill me, really? What the fuck? How do you fight a boulder? How do you fight a boulder? Oh, it says, oh, checkpoint. How do you, that's not a boss. It's not even a living creature. Nope. Well, I have only myself to blame for that one. Should use the D-pad. It gives me that too. I got no excuse. You fucking butterfly. Why would butterflies be against me? Am I evil? Am I the bad guy? How do you fight boulders? I've never gotten past this. Almost said it continues. I've never solved this. I've tried different button combos. It's not a move I'm overlooking. Maybe I'm just supposed to outrun it. Yeah, I think I just outrun it. Oh, you fucking butterfly! So yes, you just outrun it by luring it to the left. It goes off the cliff. Then a butterfly knocks you into hell. Of course Satan would be a butterfly. No one ever suspects the butterfly. No! Rope, why did you fail me? So that answers the question of how you're supposed to beat boulders anyway. You're not supposed to fight them. That's the most caveman brain solution, is to fight a boulder. Okay, that one's taken care of. Don't you fucking do that. No! God damn it, I hate everything. I'll master it. It's just all these little flying enemies. It's Dakutana all over again. So I landed a critical hit. Not this time. I need to learn to just jump for it next time, not be bamboozled. No, not again! That should be both of them. If it's not, if there's still one more... Okay, I can't apparently get rid of it that way. So the boulders come back. I guess I'm supposed to use the vine to jump over. Not today. I'm not doing that again. I'll come back to it. This is how games were, though, because they were expensive, and they had to take a long time to beat, or you would return them to the store. But the thing about TurboGrafx or PC Engine in Japan was that part of the selling point was the games were cheaper because they came on HuCards, which were cheaper to manufacture and had less memory than NES cartridges. This is the sequel, Legendary Axe 2, which is actually even more based and has nothing to do with axes, despite the title screen. This was a totally different game that was just did really well in Japan. They didn't think it would do well in America unless they attached it to an already famous franchise, because Legendary Axe did really well in the United States. Being I'm not sure how they arrived at that conclusion, because it was a pack-in. So of course it did well. But that's what I heard on a gaming history channel. I guess it was rated highly by reviewers. Or they figured people would be more familiar with it because it has the same name as the pack-in game they've already played. The other one it came with, it was Keith Courage, which is dog shit. Keith Courage and Alpha Zones should never have existed. What a mess of a game that was. Look at this Conan the Barbarian motherfucker. Where's the axe? Legendary Axe my ass. My ass. It does away completely with the anti-spamming bar, which is a mistake. That was one of the things that made the original unique. Bitchin' setting. Look at the background, though. Look at how moody this is. And the enemies are cool. You have different weapons, too, now. None of which are an axe, notably. That's the one weapon that's not in this game. I guess it's too legendary to even be wielded. So fun fact, although I don't know how fun it really is, despite the fact that the TurboGrafx was capable of 256 colors, which is as much as Super Nintendo and 4 times more than Genesis, it didn't use them in almost any of its games for performance reasons. I think because there were different resolution modes that would not have been available if they used all those colors. And it also ate up performance they could use for various methods of faking scrolling background layers. So it was more generally on par with Sega Genesis. This definitely looks as good as a Genesis game, and the only real thing setting it apart is the lack of scrolling background layers. It was certainly visually a big enough step above NES to call 16-bit, though, even though the CPU was... Look at this boss! What the fuck is this boss? Why am I fighting a face? Why am I fighting a monster face? The first one was bears. How do you get from bears and boulders? I guess it's better creativity, kind of, but on the other hand, you could argue the opposite's true. That the realism of the first one's bosses was what made it compelling. I just fucking died. Is there a checkpoint? There's a checkpoint. Why a face? I couldn't tell you. I don't want to fight you. I want to date you, babe. Come down here. You can be my bad bitch. You could fly me places. You could save on gas and electricity. Why must we be enemies? So he must hit really fucking hard if like 2 kicks killed me. Oh. The robot keeps replying to things that it hears me say that I didn't mean to say to it. Nice try with a fake out kick. You little bitch. So mad about it too. She should be. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Dare I say TurboGrafx was based? It was an overlooked gem. It had a lot of really good games like this that didn't get the attention they deserved because they weren't on Sega or Nintendo. It couldn't really cut out a niche for itself though. Sega was like the mature system and Nintendo was family friendly. What would TurboGrafx be? Also, the fact that they shipped the system without the CD add-on, even though the CD add-on had already been out in Japan for a while, that could have been what differentiated them. They could have sold it with the Turbo Duo was already out in Japan, I think. They could have sold it as a combo system and been the only CD-based 16-bit console. Then again, people might have asked why is a system that looks worse than Super Nintendo costs that much money. The answer would have been because CD drives are expensive as hell. Look at this coffee bean backgrounds. I like that you can bop enemies on the head like Mario to damage them. This is just a good game, though. Everything controls well, everything feels good. Responsive, good gameplay. Good enemy designs, good background artwork. Parallax scrolling is a gimmick if you think about it. It doesn't make the game better. I hate to say it, oh Lilia. Now there's an example of an autist experiencing a cool thing once in his life and getting totally mind broken by it for the rest of his days. Like what happened with me with underwater habitats. What's happening? Can I swim up the waterfall like in Bonk? I can't. I guess that wouldn't be on brand for Conan here. Oh, I see. Am I just really bad at this? Seems like an uncomfortably likely possibility. There we go.
resting point. Continue our upward travels. Oop, not that way. Oop, not that way either. Did I lose energy from that? It's pretty good at incremental jumping despite the wonky jumping arc. Which is important because there's a lot of it in this game. Boy, I hate doing this. Boy, this isn't fun. Maybe it would have been back in like 1990. No, this TurboGrafx came out in the United States in the same year that Atari published their last 2600 game. Think about that. Or I think 1 year after. No, actually, it was the same year as Fatal Run on 7800. So in 1990, Fatal Run came out on the Atari 8-bit console, and the TurboGrafx 16 came out. Then again, people don't realize also that Genesis came out in '87 in Japan. I think Genesis was what, 91 or 90 or 88? I can't remember when Genesis hit US shelves. Oh fuck, not again. Yeah, yes again actually, turns out. Is there another one over here? Please God, let there be another. I bopped him on the head, and his head exploded. Oh, wow, really? Peeb is voiced by Jack Black unofficially? Or officially, it wouldn't surprise me. I guess that's the only waterfall thing to climb. I just have to fuck... Oh, it gets even worse, unbelievably. I would have fucking dug the fuck out of this in 1990. Actually, this came out a year or two later, I think, because it was a sequel. Then again, all they really had to do to release new games in the United States market was to translate Japanese games. They could pretend it was about whatever, just make up their own story, because whatever anime shit it was in Japan, Americans would just be confused and enraged by it anyway. Let me fucking get up, assholes. Is it me or is it faster this time? Let me not fall this time. Please, please let me not fall. Satan, please. Satan's like, don't look at me, this is up to you. I ain't never helped nobody. I don't know why you think I would now. Is there anything this way? This is up a level. Is there anything this way? There should be. I'm up a level. I didn't. This should be different from the ground floor I was on. This just looks like the same way I came. I'm surprised this didn't do well in the United States. I think part of it was releasing so late. They gave up their time advantage in order to have catalog of games, most of which they didn't even port. Mistake number 2 was not including the CD drive in the base unit, because then that would have actually offered something different and better, arguably, than what Sega offered until they had the Sega CD out. Well, that fucking sucks a big dick. I might not continue doing this for longer than an hour or so. Third was Johnny Turbo. God, do you fucking remember Johnny Turbo? They made a gross, fat neckbeard their system mascot. I'm not lying. That's a real thing they did, because the guy in charge of marketing looked like that, and he wanted representation, I guess? This is a real thing that happened. Johnny Turbo was basically a neckbeard autist who went around starting arguments with Sega fans who were literal children. He went to playgrounds and argued with children on playgrounds about why Sega was taking advantage of them and lying to them and how Turbo Graphics was better. Which sounds too close to reality to be something he made up. It sounds like something he actually did. He's like, that I was so based. I was so based warning those kids about Sega. I should make myself into a comic book character doing that exact thing, and that'll sell consoles. I haven't seen many good videos on the phenomenon of Johnny Turbo. Maybe it's a Mandela effect, and it's like a fever dream. I'm gonna find out there never was time over. Are you taking the piss? I ran out of time? I guess that actually checks out. I'm on the top level now. Why would I go back down? Did I start out on the top level from the start? Is that the punchline in all this? Do I have to go down there first before I come back up? What was the point of all that climbing then? I don't remember these beetles. This looks familiar. Here we go. Oh, the boss encounter. What the fuck is that thing? What is any of this? How are you supposed to dodge that? What's his pattern? He slides so you can't avoid him. Not every time. I need him all my health this time. It's funny how even a basic game like this can be so much fun if the controls are good, and how very frequently the controls were bad in this generation. How you fuck up something so basic. As sleazy as Nintendo is lately, you have to give them credit for realizing that very early on, is that the control, how well a game controls, is paramount to it actually being a fun, good game. Like nothing else in the game is going to be appreciated if it controls like shit. Wonder why that was difficult to perfect. It's just math, right? It's like control curves. That's not dodgeable. That's not dodgeable either. What am I supposed to do? What's this pattern? Okay, There's a 3-part jump into the middle and the left and right sides of the screen. So in the 2/3 position, I should be able to dodge those crushing attacks, which seem to be the most harmful ones. But dodging the fireball seems impossible. What the fuck are you? Well, I'm really bad at this. I don't know if I can beat this guy. He does not seem beatable. Maybe I need a different weapon. I don't think this has a continue system like the first one did. Which, I mean, thank heavens for small mercies. I want to play me some TurboGrafx lately, I don't know why. I kind of want to buy one. I'm not going to. It was one of the only 16-bit CD consoles, this and Sega CD. We never got a Nintendo one. And 16-bit and plus CD is a winning combo for a bunch of reasons. But TurboGrafx was spared the worst of what Sega got, which was all the FMV Choose Your Own Adventure games, because it couldn't fucking render, couldn't fucking display FMV. So it got spared that whole nightmare. How do you dodge the sliding attack? What do I do here? Oh, am I supposed to bounce on him? Well, whatever. We'll find out later. That might be the trick. You might have to bounce a bunch on him. Would you like to see me stream more TurboGrafx games? Because it's the lesser known console. Everybody streams Super Nintendo and Sega, but nobody streams TurboGrafx to my knowledge. I'm kind of an aficionado because it's an oddball machine. It's kind of like the little brother of the Jaguar in that they lied about the bit count. They lied about it being 16-bit because it did the same trick the Jaguar did. Jaguar had two 32-bit CPUs and a 64-bit wide bus. TurboGrafx had two 8-bit CPUs and a 16-bit wide bus. So they have that in common. The TurboGrafx has way the fuck better games, though. I would argue it's not really that underpowered compared to what you would expect from learning that it has two 8-bit CPUs. After all, it lacks the scrolling backgrounds of, say, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, but it has more colors than Genesis. Not that they always got used, but in still images especially, in like Ys and other RPGs, they were used to great effect, which is important because it didn't have FMV, so all of its cinematics were pixel art, which is beautiful. It aged really well because of that fact, because of the fact that it couldn't really do FMV. And the one or two times it tried, it looked god awful. Like 4 colors and a tiny postage stamp. It dodged a huge bullet, and it has a lot of really beautiful cinematics. And like Lords of Thunder, the intro cinematic for Rondo of Blood is beautiful and fascinating. Phantasmagoria 2. Is that a pre-rendered horror game? Seventh Guest is. Seventh Guest actually has a VR version out now that I've been looking at longingly, but waiting for resold keys to pop up on Kinguin or G2A because I'm not paying full price for that. I'm just not doing it. That would be a fun one to stream. That would have been a fun one to stream during spooky season if I had the money and if it had come out later. But thank you all for joining. I had a blast. This was a much better stream than last one. I also improved my mood greatly. I was super depressed though because I only sold 12 copies of my book on pre-order. It's gonna be like 3 months before they print however many they see fit to print for the $420. The weed number that we made off of the pre-order sales. And then I guess all any extras they have will go up on the store, and I can try to talk people into buying them again. I might not see any money at all from this in the end, but I'll have, I guess, physical copies of my work to show around to other publishers and to Netflix and to horror creators on YouTube that I might want to collab with, like Kane Pixels. So fingers crossed that there's a silver lining to this mushroom cloud and something good comes out of this. Besides that, as for next time, I'm running low on horror games to play lately. I'm getting into TurboGrafx. I especially want to show off the CD games. That could have been marketed much better. They could have. NEC sure was a fucking company, man. If you thought Sega made bad choices, look up the PCFX sometime. Where when it came time for them to make a 32-bit console, first of all they made Super Graphics, which was the successor to TurboGrafx, and the only improvement was the addition of chips for 2 scrolling background layers, which Genesis could already do more than that. And it came out in like 87, 88. I think PC Engine was 87 and Genesis was 88 in Japan. And then after Super Graphics flopped, they were like, okay, well, that wasn't a big enough technological leap. What should our next console be? Should it be a high-powered machine capable of rendering polygons like the PlayStation? No! Fuck no. Throw that guy out the window like in the meme. It should be a console that looks like a little desktop PC that plays hentai games and can't do polygons at all, but it's really, really good at FMV, because the future, as we can see from the Sega CD, is FMV games. And if we just render FMV that looks cleaner and full screen than the Sega CD can do, then we'll beat it. And to their credit, the PCFX really does do a great job at full motion video. It's got no artifacting. It's very clean looking MPEG-2 video. If that's what you wanted it for, if you were a gross, sweaty otaku, that might have been your dream system. It has a game where it's like a single screen arcade game, but you're a toddler and there's upskirts with panty shots. That's the kind of crowd they were courting with the PCFX. But then again, there were dating sims on PlayStation also, but there was also a much wider variety of content, so they had to get pretty extreme in order to sell their exclusives. NEC, man, I don't know, but they really stood a chance, I feel, during the 16-bit generation. If they had done a few things different, it wouldn't have had to be that different. Just include the Super Graphics hardware from the start, which is probably easier said than done. If we can't have that, then more feasibly, since the CD add-on, and I think the Duo was already out in Japan at the time that they were going to do the US launch, just fucking ship the Duo. Don't ship the cartridge-only version and then ship the add-on, because then you're segmenting your player base unnecessarily. Just ship the Duo to the United States as a CD-only console, and then sell them CD games, since almost all the games for the Turbo that came out after the add-on was a success were CD-based anyhow. Oh, thank you. I'll check Steam Chat for that. So look forward to that. I really want to do more TurboGrafx content on the next stream. And some Steam games I haven't gone around to. So that's what you have to look forward to. And that will happen on Friday. Same ham time, same ham channel. This is your friendly neighborhood ham. I didn't do the rest of it. Same ham time, same ham channel. Next part is 7 o'clock p.m. West Coast time to 11 o'clock p.m. This is your friendly neighborhood ham dad signing off and returning you to your regularly scheduled sleepy time.